Ladies, listen, what you need to do right now is go get your husband, go get your boyfriend, go get your teenagers and set them in front of the television. And then you need to leave the room because this program is for men only. We're so glad you joined us today for our program for Men Only. I'm excited about today's program. I'm excited about where we are. I've got Ron Morris here. Ron, it's good to have you. And we're on LST 393.
Right.
Is that right? This is a museum ship in Muskegon, Michigan. Tell us a little bit about this ship.
Well, first of all, this ship was built in 1942. It was built in Newport News. It was built and commissioned there. When it was loaded, this held 28 Sherman tanks.
28 Sherman tanks
on the deck that we're standing on right now. This went over to England. This was at D-Day, Omaha Beach, the first day of D-Day.
You're talking Omaha Beach, which was the bloodiest beach of the
bloodiest
five,
beach there was.
The five beaches there in Normandy. Over 1,000 men died on that beach.
But this was there. This also was at the landings in Sicily. It was at the landings in Salerno. And it was at the landings, naturally, 30 times it went back and forth from England to France, to England to France, hauling tanks, equipment over, troops over, and then bringing wounded and German prisoners back.
Now, Ron, this is a museum now. You've got things to World War II vets. You've got some things from World War II as well as from Vietnam. This is a pretty great place to come, isn't it?
Well, we honor all veterans. There's memorabilia on here from World War I, World War II, some from Afghanistan. We have a Vietnam Wall where all 60 of our KRAs from Muskegon County are remembered. We have some Korean War veteran stuff in here. We also honor the women that were in the service. So we have a lot on here to honor the veterans with.
You see, Ron, one of the reasons I like this, and it really does something to me to be on this ship, is that when my parents were divorced when I was 9 years old, one of the things my father, when he left an 18-volume set of books on World War II. And as a kid, I read through those. I just scoured through those. And whenever I'd go to the library as a kid, back, before we had the internet and stuff, I'd always go to the history section and read books on World War II. And a lot of my heroes growing up were World War II veterans or commanders. I mean, I love General Patton and Eisenhower and things like that. Or John Basilone, the first Medal of Honor winner and of the Marine Corps on Guadalcanal. They were my heroes. And I think one of the things that becomes real important, especially for men, and men, we're talking to you, our program for men only, our heart and our desire in this program is this. We believe that there's an eagle and a turkey on the inside of every man, and we realize it's the one of the two birds that gets talked to that usually rises to the ascendancy. So what we want to do is talk to that eagle on the inside of men, and I believe one of the keys is someplace in there the kind of heroes, and I believe every man should have some heroes or somebody that they look up to that they want to be like. And for me, my heroes were World War II veterans. So it's exciting to be here.
I'll tell you a funny thing about, you talk about heroes. In 1957, I enlisted in the Marine Corps at 17, and my hero was John Wayne. That's why I joined the Marine Corps.
All right. General Stryker from San Luis.
There you go. That's the one that made me join the Marine Corps.
Is that right?
Yep, sure
so
was.
it's important to have some people look up to.
Well, sure it is, and I think today there's not enough of them.
Ooh, that's good.
I think today there's not enough of them.
Man, that's powerful, Ron. Thank you so much. Now listen, we're going to be back in just a few moments, and I'm going to be with Troy Love, good friend of mine, and we're going to talk some more about the importance of a man having heroes, some people that he looks up to, maybe like John Wayne or John Basilone or somebody that you look up to that you want to emulate and be like. So stick around and join us. back on LST 393 here in Muskegon, Michigan, and it's a little cold, so we got our jackets on in here. But I'm here with Troy Love. Troy, so glad to have you. Thank you for coming. And you know, Troy, I love this ship, and I love the stuff that's on here. I know we got some guns and stuff behind us, but you know, we're talking about heroes today, and we're talking about maybe the importance of heroes in men's lives. Now, you're a teacher, so give me a quick definition. What would be how would you define a hero?
Well, I'm starting out in the dictionary.
Okay, we're going to start there.
A couple of dictionary definitions. Number one, a mythological or legendary figure of great strength and ability.
Okay, so right, like Superman?
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. The second one, a man admired for his achievements and qualities.
Ooh, say that again.
A man admired for his achievements and qualities.
Okay, so now let me ask you something. I mean, you're a little bit younger than me, but you didn't happen to have any heroes growing up, did you?
I did have some heroes.
All right, who are some of your heroes growing up?
You promised not to laugh at me.
Oh, I'll try.
Rocky Balboa.
Rocky Balboa.
Rocky Balboa was one of my heroes. It seemed like every episode, every movie, he was taking it to another level, and the man inspired me.
Is that right?
Yes, he did. Another one of my heroes is a man named Brad Van Pelt.
Okay.
And I played college football at Michigan State, and he went on to play in the NFL, and he's a close family friend.
Really?
And as a young kid, to see a giant of a man like that, who just took great care of kids, and of course he was a Pro Bowl football player as well, and to be able to connect with him, what a thrill for a young man.
Wow.
So yeah, he was another one of my heroes.
Okay, did you have any, all right, besides those, I mean, you were a basketball player, so I mean, you were an all-state basketball player in high school. Did you have any basketball players that you emulated or tried?
Isaiah Thomas.
Really?
I emulated him, and that was one of the things, you know, you go home and watch ESPN and you watch highlights of Isaiah Thomas, and the next day at lunchtime when the balls were released, I was going to be imitating Isaiah Thomas. Isn't that what we do with our heroes?
Yeah, well, I'd say one of my heroes, sports hero, was Willie Horton, who used to play left field for the Detroit Tigers. They've got a statue of him at Comerica Park, and I remember, because I love baseball, and I can remember I would try to stand like him. I don't know how he hit baseballs with his stance. He had this real awkward stance, had the bat, always carried it high and when he was at the plate. But I wanted to be like Willie Horton. I wanted to be a baseball player like him. Now, on the other end, some of my heroes, and this is why this ship is so special to me, is that a lot of my heroes were World War II heroes. And I mean, men that sacrificed, men that, you know, I loved. Now, here recently, now this is not as a kid, but here recently, I got a book on, it was, you know, like one of those end table kinds of books on the living Medal of Honor winners. Wow. And those are like my, you know, I'd read about them as a kid, but you know, you have a certain appreciation maybe as a kid, but as an adult now, I would read those stories, and man, I could only read 3 or 4 or maybe 5 at a time. Yeah. Because I'd read those stories, I'd get choked up, I'd get tears in my eyes. I mean, there was something about, you know, that you said some of the guys, one of them inspired you. Rocky Balboa inspired you. I mean, it did something on the inside of you when whether you watched what they did or read what they did, it stirred something on the inside of you.
Yeah, Tim, and that's one of the things that is, it's just a privilege to be in this place today, because we are sitting in a place where, can you imagine young men, 20, 21, 22 years old, and understanding the challenge, and not even understanding the challenge that was before them, but the danger that they were about ready to face, and the guts and the courage and what must have been going through their minds as they were in this very place. And to think that they stepped up to that challenge and they were victorious. If that doesn't inspire a man, I'm not sure what is. We better check our heartbeats right there. So to be in a place like this right now, what an honor.
Yeah. Well, this, as we heard in the intro to this program, this ship was at Omaha Beach, which was the bloodiest beach. I think it's 1,000 to 2,000 men died on that beach, not even including how many men were wounded. The initial company that went in had 96% casualties within minutes of hitting the beach. I mean, that means it was a reinforced company, I think about 240 men. That means probably 200 to 210 of them were killed or wounded within the first 5 minutes of landing on that beach. And I mean, to me, and the fact that guys that had trained in knowing that when the front of that ship went down, that there was a good possibility they'd be killed, but they did it anyway. They still went forward. They didn't think about their own lives. I mean, to me, that's heroes. And I mean, part of the thing we're trying to do with this program is talk to the eagle on the inside of men. Those men were no different than the men today.
Right.
But there was something on the inside of them that wanted to go a little bit farther. And I think it's important that we honor men like that. Oh, yeah. We honor their sacrifice. I appreciate Tom Brokaw called that generation the greatest generation. I mean, because someplace in there they were heroes. And I like, Troy, one of the first times we met, my son was in your class taking a history class, and you had a man that landed on Omaha Beach. And my son told me he was going to come and talk in your class, and I called you up and I said, can I come sit in your class?
That's right, yes.
And that man came and shared, and he said what I've heard the majority of World War II veterans, when you called him a hero, he said, I'm not a hero. The heroes are the ones that are still over there.
Yeah.
So we'll come back in a moment. We'll talk some more about heroes in men's lives.
Hi, I'm Tony Rory here with the Men of Honor program, and we're in a public school classroom where we mentor and train young men ages 11 to 17 in principles of honor, chivalry, and integrity. You know, one of the things that we need most in our society today are heroes. Heroes are men who act in a time of need on behalf of a cause greater than themselves. Heroics and heroism is something that's lacking in men today. It's time for men to step up and be heroes for the next generation by mentoring and training young men to be heroes themselves. You're needed today, man of God. Step up, be a hero, be a man of honor.
We're here once again at LST 393 here in Muskegon, Michigan. I'm here with Troy Love. Troy, we're talking about heroes, and that might, you might almost look in today, in men's lives, and we have a lot of movies today with men like Spider-Man and Iron Man and the whole Avenger, you got Thor and there's, a lot of Batman movies. And so, it's almost like the cartoon heroes are sort of being put in front of us, and Hollywood is putting them in front of us. But I think it's important to have some real life heroes, because listen, as much as we might like Superman, or I sort of like Iron Man, or what have you, those things, they're not our Captain America.
Right.
The truth is those aren't real, and you can want to be, but if you go to the top of a building and think you're Superman and jump off, you're going to find out you're not Superman.
Right.
So I believe it's important not to just have action heroes or comic book heroes. I think it's important for a man to have some heroes in his life. Somebody that hopefully he looks up to. And we talked about some of our heroes. Why do you think having a hero is important in a man's life?
It's interesting you mentioned that, Tim, because those superhero movies, those are the best-selling movies that Hollywood puts out. Even though deep down we all know that they are not real. I hope I'm not spoiling that for some people. But they still inspire us. Every one of us is looking to be a hero. We're inspired by heroes, a superhero. I think those movies even speak to something that's inside us that says, we want to be a superhero. We want to be like that. And so we look for those same kinds of people in real life. And really what they do is they encourage you. Heroes encourage you. And what the word encourage means, if you break that down, it means to put courage into somebody. And isn't that what a superhero does? What a hero does? Yeah. They put courage into us. And we need courage. I don't know about you, Tim. I need courage to go through this daily life. Yeah. And I need heroes to do that for me.
You see, I think one of the things is that, especially those types of movies, I think it speaks to something in a man. you know, whether, now you talked about Rocky, I mean, you know, Rocky
Sure.
Balboa, or,
yeah.
or a lot of the, you know, I mean, most guys like the, you know, I mean, if it's movie night and you know, where's the guy want to go? He wants to go to the action movies.
Yep.
You know, my wife wants to go to the chick flicks, and I ask, is anybody shot? Is anything blown up? You know, guys, I mean, because I think there's something that speaks to something in a man where the, you know, the guy comes through in the very end, or, you know, or he sacrifices, or he does something, he rescues the lady. I mean, you know, he somehow rescues a situation, saves the girl.
That's right.
And I think it's something on the inside of every man. There's something on the inside of him. I mean, because every boy, you know, growing up, you dream of making the, you know, hitting the home run in the bottom of the ninth of the seventh game of the World Series, or you know, you making that shot in the last second. I mean, guys grow up with that hero. I mean, they want to rescue the girl. They want to save the city or save the family or what have you. I think it's something on the inside of a man that some of those movies, I mean, and whether they're westerns or military movies or whatever else, that it speaks to something, it calls to something on the inside of a man to be a hero.
That's right. And you don't even have to, like you say, when you're a little kid, you know, you're playing with toys, or you're dreaming. You don't ever dream of being the loser.
No.
You don't aspire to be on the losing team, or you want to be the winner. You want to be the champion. And the fact is that in young men, we've got a warrior spirit inside us.
Ooh, that's
it's
good.
a warrior spirit, and it's a spirit that says, I want to fight for what's right, and I want to do something that is not just ordinary, but extraordinary. I don't want to be a common man. None of us want to be common, but we get caught in that trap sometime, and it drives us nuts because we've got that hero inside us.
Well, you know, Troy, you're a teacher, and I've seen studies that they talk about creativity. When a child, until they get about 5 years old, they're very creative. But then a lot of times when they start in the school system, that they got to color in between the lines, kind of thing.
Right.
And their creativity goes down. But I bring that up in terms, I think on the inside of men is that desire to be a hero, to do something great. I mean, even a guy that, forgive me, but I mean, a drunk wants to be a hero. A drug addict, with someplace in him that he wants to be a hero. And I think that there's something inbred inside of men to want to be a hero, to want to be a champion. And I think sometimes life, and just going through life, we have that as a kid growing up. Guys out there, you know, you've wanted to be the hero before, but I think sometimes in life sort of knocks that down and knocks it out of you. And I believe part of the thing we want to do is revive that on the inside of you, because, you know, you may not save a nation or save a world. I think of Men in Black. You know, you might not say, you know, you might not be Will Smith or whatever, Tommy Lee Jones saving the world kind of thing. But I think every man, you know, he can be a hero to his wife, a hero to his kids, maybe a hero to his community by doing something great. And I think one of the keys is having the right heroes in your life. Because Ed Cole, I think we've talked about him, mentored us in men's ministry. Ed Cole said, good news, there's good news and bad news about heroes. The good news is you become like your heroes. The bad news is you become like your heroes.
Yeah.
So it's important, I think, that as a kid we have heroes, we have people we look up to, and we maybe had that as a kid. Our challenge is do we maintain that as we become adults or men? Do we still have some heroes? And I think that it's still important as a man to have some heroes in your life, somebody that you emulate.
For sure. And like you said, unfortunately, I think things get in the way of that hero, that warrior spirit that's crying out in us. Things like emails, phone calls, long work hours, paying bills, the things of daily life, they get in the way of that call inside us. And like you say, one of the things we want to do, and we want to encourage men to do, is to regain and to restore that attitude that says, you know what, as important as it is to have heroes, let's be a hero.
Yeah.
And that's what we all want to be.
Amen.
We were designed to be heroes.
That's right. And now we're going to come back and talk about how to pick right heroes, choose some right heroes in your life that'll pull out and inspire that greatness on the inside of you. We'll be back in just a few moments. We're back here at LST 393. It's a little cold in here as we're taping in Muskegon, Michigan. Praise God, I'm here with Troy Love, and we're talking about heroes. And Troy, we talked a little bit about quote superheroes, that the movies and stuff out there. You talked about some of your heroes as a kid growing up, like Rocky Balboa, Brad Van Pelt. Was that? I talked about some of mine, and we talked about how heroes can affect us a little bit. And and then how someplace on the inside of every man is that desire to be a hero.
Right.
So if I could say, I think there's something heroic on the inside of every man. But if we could break it down, I think sometimes, people think of heroes of, most of us are not going to hit the home run in the 9th inning of the 7th game of the World Series, or we're not going to catch the touchdown pass in the final seconds of the Super Bowl to win the Super Bowl. Most of us are not going to be Medal of Honor winners or save the world. Most of us are out, like I think you said in the last segment, we just like to be a hero to our family, or maybe a hero in our community, or in some form or fashion. Maybe if I could say it this way, for some of that greatness. Now, Troy, I personally believe that part of the reason we're created in God's image, and God has greatness on the inside. I believe there's greatness on the inside of every man. Mm-hmm. And as I say, our goal is to pull out that greatness, that eagle on the inside. But practically speaking, sometimes we've got some people in our lives that maybe our classic idea of hero, superhero, they may not fit, but there's somebody that pulls the greatness out of the inside of us. Maybe I think you said in your definition, that desire to emulate, that desire to be like. And I know you've had an individual in your life that pulled some things out of you, and he may not be known by a whole lot of other people, but he's done something in your life. Who is that?
Right. His name is Jim Harris. And his friends call him Red, so I'll call him Red. And Red Harris, he's about 78 years old. And I had the good fortune of teaching school with him for a lot of years. And he inspired me as a teacher and as a man of God. And over the course of years, Red has taken time with me to speak into me, to pull things out of me that I didn't even see inside me. But he did. And he's able to pull that out. And he has brought me to another level of living with my family, as a teacher, as a follower of Jesus, that I don't think I could have done on my own. And Tim, can you imagine that to this day, Red and I, wherever we're at in the world, wherever we're at in the nation, we get on the phone and we pray with each other every single day. Can you imagine having a man in your life like that? And it's powerful. But the fact that he takes time. We only have so many hours in our whole life. Mm-hmm. So when somebody gives you time, they're giving you a part of their life. Yeah. And that's what he's done for me. And I guess in turn, I want to give my life, I want to give my time to other people as well and invest in others. So it's been powerful. And like you said, not very many people maybe know Red Harris, but that man has changed my life in a huge way.
So he was in a sense a hero to you, somebody you wanted to be like.
Right.
Now, I'd say one of my heroes would be my pastor. His name's Mark Barkley. He was a Vietnam veteran, did 2 tours in Vietnam. So there was a part that really I appreciated. He is a Marine to the core. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Sure.
And still has some of that Marine attitude kind of thing. Now, I don't talk to him every day. I don't pray with him every day. But one of the reasons I looked to him for leadership was not just that he was a man of God, but that his lifestyle, the way he carried himself, the excellence about his life. I said, I wanted to be like that. Sure. I watched the way he treated his wife, and I go, man, I want to treat my wife that way. The things that I saw, he was a hero in the sense, not that I worship him, but that in terms of he was a challenge to pull some of what was on the inside of me, what was there, because as I watched his example and watched what he did, it pulled what if I could say it this way, it pulled out of me what I didn't know I had. And I think that's one of the things that when you have some heroes in your life, somebody that you respect, somebody that you honor, I think they can pull greatness maybe that's buried on the inside of you and pull it out of you. And you can have a much better, you mentioned quality life, quality teach, quality things. And so now I might say this, I believe that it's important for man to find some heroes. And maybe I feel like this in my spirit, what just rose in my spirit. Some men say, well, I've had a hero. I looked at this person, maybe they let me down, or maybe I found out they weren't totally perfect. Well, I want to challenge you, look for a hero again. Look for somebody again that you can say, I want to be like, because I believe that they're out there. Because I think one of the problems some men have had is that they've chose the wrong heroes. And you see, a hero will either cause you to come up higher, or a hero will cause you to go down lower, depending on their example. So you need to have the right heroes in your life, the right kind of men that pull out the greatness and the quality in your life. Now, I want to say to you this, those of you watching today, one of the greatest heroes you can ever find is, there may be some men out there, but one of the greatest heroes you can ever find is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, He's more than a religious figure. He's somebody that can change your life. And He's somebody that you can want to be like, and He'll help you, and He'll help you to be like Him as you surrender your life to Him. And the thing is, the more you look at Him, there's a beautiful verse in the Bible that says, as we look at Him, and as we take some time in prayer, or maybe in His Word, as we look at Him, we become more like Him. So if I could say it this way, what happens is we look at the Lord Jesus Christ and let Him be a hero in our lives. More than just a religious figure, more than just somebody that, I don't know if I like him, he bugs me because he doesn't like some things I'm doing. Well, you know, if you just make Him a hero in your life, you might find out He begins to pull things out of you, begins to pull some greatness, some things that maybe God put on the inside of you, begins to pull that out of you. And what you begin to find out is this: you begin to live at a higher level. You begin to be a better father, a better husband, a better employer, just a better person, a better man in life, as you let Him be a hero in your life. So men, I want to challenge you, those that are watching, find a hero. Find somebody that you look to that challenges the greatness on the inside of you and pulls it out of you. Thank you for joining us for Men Only.